In every life, fear appears in different forms. Sometimes it whispers softly. Sometimes it shakes us to our core. But there is one truth we often ignore. Fear does not shrink when we run from it. It grows quietly, waiting for the moment it can stop us again. This story reminds us that bravery does not begin with strength. It begins with honesty. The honesty to look directly at what frightens us and choose to move forward anyway. Far beyond a silent woodland, where silver fog drifted between ancient pines and stone cliffs touched the sky, stood a weathered cabin made of driftwood and moss. Inside lived a young mountain goat named Orin. Orin was known throughout the woodland for his gentle heart. He greeted birds at dawn, shared food without question, and helped smaller creatures climb steep paths. Yet behind his peaceful eyes lived a fear he never spoke of. Each morning, Orin traveled across the open plains to gather wild roots and drink from the cold spring. But there was one place he always avoided, a hanging rope crossing stretched over a roaring gorge. Years ago, Orin had slipped there once. He survived, but the memory never released its grip on him. Since that day, Orin chose a longer, harsher route. It drained his strength and stole his time, but fear convinced him it was safer. One evening, while searching for food, Orin discovered a hidden cluster of golden roots growing near the gorge. Hunger pushed him forward. Relief washed over him as he filled his pouch, unaware of how late it had become. As the sky darkened, Orin realized the long path would leave him trapped in darkness. Slowly, he stood before the rope crossing, staring down into the churning shadows below. His legs stiffened. His breath tightened. The ropes groaned as the wind whispered through them. I can't, he thought. What if I slip again? Turning away, Orin chose the familiar escape. But the land had other plans. Black clouds surged across the sky. Rain slammed the earth. Lightning tore through the valley, and the ground beneath Orin's hooves turned slick and dangerous. Thunder echoed like warning drums. Cold and disoriented, Orin realized something terrifying. By avoiding one fear, he had stepped into something worse. Soaked and shaking, he searched for shelter, but found none. Every sound felt like danger closing in. Then, through the storm, a calm voice spoke. Why do you keep fleeing? Orin spun around. Emerging from behind a boulder was an elderly crane named Sealer, feathers damp but posture steady. Sealer was a wanderer, known for crossing lands others feared. Orin confessed everything. The fall, the memory, the crossing that haunted him. Sealer listened quietly, then said, Fear grows powerful when it is fed by avoidance. Before Orin could respond, a massive shadow appeared. A wild boar burst from the trees, furious and soaked. The gorge is swelling, the boar snarled. This storm will trap anyone who hesitates. Orin's heart sank. Sealer looked at him calmly. If you don't cross now, the land will close behind you. The boar scoffed. That crossing is unstable. Even I wouldn't dare. With that, the boar vanished into the forest. Orin felt smaller than ever. If strength refused, what chance did he have? Just then, a tiny field mouse dashed across the rope crossing, balancing easily with a grain clasped in its paws. Halfway across, it paused. It's only frightening, the mouse called back. When you stay frozen. Those words struck Orin deeply. Slowly, very slowly, he stepped forward. One hoof touched the rope. His heart thundered louder than the storm. The crossing swayed. Fear screamed at him to turn back. But behind him was chaos, and ahead was possibility. He took another step. Rain lashed his face. Wind howled. His muscles trembled violently. Halfway across, Oren froze. He shut his eyes, breathed deeply, focused not on the drop, but on the step beneath him. The ropes creaked, but they held. With one final surge of courage, Oren reached the other side and collapsed onto solid ground. Moments later, the storm softened. Clouds drifted apart. Moonlight spilled over the gorge like a reward. Oren stood, realizing something profound. The crossing hadn't changed. He had. Sealer arrived and nodded with quiet pride. Fear often shouts louder than reality, he said. The mouse joined them, and together they watched the water calm beneath the ropes. At dawn, creatures gathered, amazed to hear who had crossed during the storm. Oren looked at the crossing again, not with dread, but with respect. From that day forward, he crossed it often, not because it became easy, but because it reminded him of his strength. He learned that fear does not disappear when avoided. It fades only when faced, step by step. This story leaves us with 3 powerful lessons. First, when we avoid fear, it grows quietly and stronger over time. Second, true courage is not about power or size, but about taking the first honest step. Third, running away traps us, but facing fear sets us free. So when fear appears, don't escape it. Stand calmly. Move forward. Because courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to walk through it.